will count to 12, and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second, and not move our arms so much.
The poet, Pablo Neruda, in this stanza, asks us to count us to 12. For that period, we will keep still, that is, quiet. What does 12 mean here? It's not mentioned here. Maybe it's the 12 months of a year. Or the 12-hour signs of a clock. He asks us to keep quiet while you count to 12. But why? We all are in a hurry. Because of this, all the troubles occur. The poet asks us to not to speak in any language, at least once. Why? Because different languages sometimes become a reason for violence. The poet urges us to stop for a second and not move our arms so much. He is trying to say we should not move our arms to harm others.
It would be an exotic moment. Without rush, without engines. We would all be together, in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. And the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands.
Pablo Neruda says that when we all will keep still, it would be an exotic moment. Exotic means fantastic or enticing. It would be a moment without rush, without engines. Engines means there will be no noise of machines, engines, devices. We all would be together in a sudden strangeness. Means it will be a strange moment, exotic, surprising. The fisherman will not harm whales. The poet asks us to not harm whales, not harm animals. The man who is gathering salt will look at his hurt hands. We always are in a hurry to complete our need and greed. We don't see what we've sacrificed for that. That's why the man should see his hands, which are hurt by the salt.
Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about their brothers in the shade, doing nothing.
Those who prepare green wars means those who promote green wars, that is, warmongers. Why are the wars green? All wars are against the environment. Wars produce nothing other than deaths and degradation of natural resources. Wars with gas, wars with fire, means wars with poisonous gases and fire weapons. Victory with no survivors. If the warmongers win the war, there will be no survivors to see their victory. Pablo says, those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, fire, with no survivors, should put on clean clothes and walk with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. They should put clothes that are not stained with warriors' blood, signs of war. They would walk with their enemies, who, in fact, are their brothers. They would walk together under the tree shade, means enjoying in the nature and doing nothing.
What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping lives moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death.
The poet says that he doesn't want that when he is asking us to be quiet, he should think it as total inactivity. No! The poet asks us to be quiet, doing nothing. But this doesn't mean that it is total inactivity. Life is what it is about. He wants no truck with death. What is a truck? It's a heavy vehicle, used to transport heavy goods. Are you a fool? What has this poem got to do with trucks? Actually, in Old English, truck means to exchange, or to bargain. The poet says he wants no truck with death. Means he wants no exchange with death. He doesn't want that people kill people for territory, for money. He says we should not be so single-minded as we just keep our lives moving. We should stop for a moment, do nothing, and rest in peace. Oh, we should rest. Pablo says this huge silence might disturb the sadness. Which sadness? The sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Fear of death.
Perhaps the earth can teach us when everything seems dead, and later proves to be alive. Now, I'll count up to 12, and you keep quiet, and I will go.
Pablo says that the earth can teach us a lesson. When everything seems dead, it later proves to be alive. When trees are cut, it seems dead. But the earth regenerates and proves to be alive. Even when everything is dead, the earth seems alive. In the same way, when we all are in hurry, which causes miseries and chaos, we can keep quiet, still. It will seem like we are alive again. The poet says he would count up to 12. For that time, we'll keep quiet, and he will go. Means, he has conveyed his message of keeping quiet, that is, doing nothing. In short, Pablo, through this poem, tells us to be still, to prevent miseries and troubles. For this, we have to introspect ourselves. Means, we have to look into own thoughts.